Alright, so I have heard a lot of people saying that our creators has a rat problem. And honestly, I have experienced it myself. You'll have players yelling friendly only to shoot you in the back a few minutes later. Or you'll team up, finish a mission together, and then they wipe you out at the end just to steal your loot. Now, as someone who played a lot of DayZ back in 2014 when it first came out, and more recently Hunt Showdown, I wouldn't say this whole ratting thing is anything new. Both of those games had massive communities at launch, but over time the player base dwindled and the vibe was way more hostile than what we are seeing in Arc Raiders. In those games, shooting on sight wasn't just common, it was the exception, especially in Hunt Showdown, where trust basically didn't exist. In Daisy, it was really up to the player to decide whether they wanted to be a hero or bandit, and people fully embraced those roles. With Arc Raiders starting to move in a very similar direction, there's a chance it would end up in the same place Daisy did. This kind of playstyle can get old if everyone eventually becomes hostile, but at the same time, it's a PvP PvE game, so it's completely normal for players to behave the way the game encourages them to. Back in 2014, I hated playing DayZ alone. I only started enjoying it once I teamed up with a couple of friends. Suddenly, the game felt a lot safer because playing solo meant constantly being afraid of getting shot. Games like this really bring out that raw survival instinct in people when they are thrown into situations where everyone is fighting to escape with the best loot. It's the same kind of vibe you get from the 2009 movie The Road, where the survival pushes people to their absolute limits, even to cannibalism, which, fun fact, was also a pretty big part of Daisy, but consuming human flesh also gave your brain disease. So it all depends on player if they wanted to engage in consuming human flesh. Torturing players, force feeding them toxic food, handcuffing them, even taking them hostage, all of that was part of the gameplay, and the game still did well. And as far as I know, Daisy is still alive today in 2025. Even if the player base is much smaller, but the thing is, none of these ever felt like a massive problem back then. Mostly because the game didn't have any real crafting or base building systems. Losing your loot in Daisy was infuriating, sure, but it never felt like as huge of a setback as it does in Arc Raiders. Getting killed after spending hours searching for the right items to level up or craft something can be extremely frustrating in Arc Raider. And I think that's where a lot of community's frustration is coming from. Games like this, having a split player base isn't anything new. In fact, that divide is part of what keeps these games alive and challenging. If everyone played like a pacifist, the game wouldn't stay interesting for long and it would eventually die out. So, in my opinion, we do need that 50-50 mix on both sides. Some players who can't handle the PvP aspect might leave, but that's something that naturally happens with games in this genre. However, since I have played a lot of games in this genre, I want to share a few ideas on how these mechanics can actually be turned into an advantage and how they could make the game feel even more lively and enjoyable. These are just some ideas. I'm not saying they need to implement or anything. They are simply my personal thoughts on how the game system could be used or improved. First idea is something taken straight from Daisy. Give players two chances in Arc Raiders instead of instantly dying and going back to the lobby. A player could first get knocked out and go into an unconscious state. A tag would appear saying you are unconscious. During this time, the opponent can loot your body, take whatever they want, and leave. After that, the fallen player gets up, but only with whatever was left in the backpack and in a low health state. From here, they have to scavenge again, but this time they get a small blip on their mini map that marks the player who killed them earlier. This gives them a chance to hunt down their killer and take back what was stolen. This would make the game a lot more interesting, and it might even make the rat player think twice before shooting everyone on sight. The second idea is to give players more choice in how they want to play the game, paired with a credit system. The more a player leans towards a hostile playstyle, the more they can earn a certain type of ranking. Similar to the system in infamous Second Son, players could actively choose to be a bandit or a hero, and both playstyles would be rewarded. But here's the twist: being friendly would give bigger rewards because working together with other player opens up more opportunities than just being hostile. This way, players would have to think carefully before attacking others. They would still gain something from evil or aggressive play, but helping others would pay off far more in the long run. The third idea is to introduce a system where anytime a player kills someone and loots them, everyone in the vicinity gets a blip on their mini map showing the perpetrator. This would be a double-edged sword. It would attract all kind of players to the location, and the sound of gunfire could also draw nearby AI enemies. It could lead to chaotic situations, maybe a full-blown firefight if groups show up, or the shooter could end up surrounded, killed, and looted by everybody nearby. I think this would be one of the easiest systems to implement, and it would make the game way more exciting. Players would have to think twice before making a hasty decision, and it would also encourage stealthy strategic play. So these are just some ideas I have to help maintain a balance between heroes and bandits in the game. Honestly, I don't want the game to be all rainbows and sunshine. That would get boring real fast. I'll probably quit because it wouldn't give me the adrenaline rush I'm looking for. That excitement, that constant tension is exactly where I play games like this in the first place. Right, with that, I'll end the video. I would love to hear what you guys think about these ideas. Do you think they could actually help the game, or would they make the community even more toxic? Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and if you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.